Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Carolyn Grimes, and this is Elevate Your Practice Insights and Best Practices. This is the first of a series of webinars, and we are so excited about tonight because it's being led by our practice development managers. Our PDMs are a new team in our company, and these are the people who are going to be in the practices all across the country. They're experienced, they're able to help, advise, and answer your questions. And so I'd like to go ahead and introduce them to you now. Jen Fox covers the upper Northeast. Jen began her career as a pediatric oncology and pediatric intensive care nurse before going on to clinical training. She is a President's Club winner, and she was recruited to SoftWave's clinical team and recently moved to our PDM team. Jen will use her clinical expertise to help practices grow their SoftWave business. Up next is Carol Hahn. She covers the Western U.S. region. With over 15 years in business consulting, Carol specializes in advancing businesses in the medical aesthetic field. She has previously won Practice Manager of the Year, and she was recognized in the President's Club. Carol is a trusted partner in business development, and she's ready to support your practice. Erica Burke covers our Southeast region. She has more than 12 years of experience in sales and training, and she's earned 3 President's Club awards. Erica holds a Bachelor of Arts degree and is a licensed esthetician. She's fluent in both English and Spanish, and we're thrilled to have her here at SoftWave. Amy Reagan is responsible for the South Central U.S. region. Her background spans from starting as a provider behind the treatment chair to owning her own salon and spa. Amy holds a bachelor's in science and is a licensed cosmetologist and laser technician. She says all of these roles have given her the ability to truly relate to the practices and bring value. And finally, Mariana Nardone covers the Northeast. She has over 3 decades of experience as a medical esthetician, business owner, and author. Her passion and purpose, she says, are guiding practices to enhance, empower, and drive their success.
I'm going to go ahead and start with product knowledge and training, and the ladies will dive into many other best practices. To go ahead and start with product knowledge and training, I'll just let you know, first of all, a little bit about the history of our company, the timeline, our FDA approvals. We now have 7 FDA approvals for SoftWave, and we recently received our 8th FDA approval when we introduced our new EMS module, Pure Impact by SoftWave. So the company started in 2016. It is out of Israel, founded by a familiar name to most of you, Dr. Shimon Eckhouse. It came to the United States after doing beautifully in Israel for a couple of years, but we brought it to the USA in 2019, launched during COVID, and because of the wonderful partners that we've had in terms of our key industry leaders, it did very well in 2020. 2021 is what sparked our, what I usually called in my training is our big whammy. It's our lifting protocol. And I think that's what we are most known for. So we have 3 different areas that we're FDA cleared for lifting of the eyebrow, lifting of the lax submental tissue, so underneath the chin, and lifting of the neck tissue. And the 2021 indications, the lifting indications, like I said, that we're most known for those, but we have so many other investing. We invest so much in our R&D, and we bring other indications to you. So 2022, we were approved for the short-term improvement in the appearance of cellulite. So studies on that were performed on posterior lateral thigh and buttocks, but the FDA approval doesn't necessarily specify where you need to treat cellulite with SoftWave, so that is completely up to you. We've seen lovely results on abdomen, thighs, buttocks, posterior lateral thigh, etc. 2023, we actually had 2 FDA approvals in 2023, so we were very busy investing in R&D for you and for our patients. Treatment of acne scars came out, I believe it was probably in early fall, late summer, early fall. So remember, with the depth that we'll talk about very shortly, of 1.5 millimeters fixed in the mid dermis, we're targeting collagen and elastin to improve the appearance of acne scars. We also, at the end of December of 2023, which was a lovely holiday gift for everyone, we had the FDA approval of the improvement in the appearance of skin laxity on the upper arms. So we have all of these protocols for you to treat many different areas on the body and the face for your patient. 2024 comes with expanded indications. We do have additional studies in the works, and as they are introduced, our team and our clinical team will introduce them to you. But as mentioned, we also have the Pure Impact by Softwave, which is our EMS module. That's an add-on module. So we'll learn a little bit more about that at the end of the presentation. So what makes Softwave unique? Absolutely proud of the science. The science is what drives us, and it is what we're always very proud to present to you as our customers and for you to pass on to your patients. So the four pieces of this science puzzle that we'll discuss briefly. And by the way, this is no substitute for a full clinical training, but just want to make sure that we're touching on these points for you. The temperature, the pulse duration, the depth of penetration, and the high volumetric directional tissue coverage. We're looking at this middle section here where our aim is for to get temperatures in the mid dermis to reach 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. And typically in a treatment, we're starting already above that. We're already ahead of the game because typically the energy settings that we use are correlating to about 65, 66 degrees Celsius. So we're in great shape for coagulating tissue in the mid dermis. And when we do that, thank you so much. When we do that, we are permanently causing damage to collagen and elastin, which is exactly what we want to do, because then over time it's replaced by new tissue. So again, 60 to 70 degrees Celsius is how we achieve that. And again, usually you're already in that middle 65, 66 degree temperature range. This heat is delivered over 4 seconds. So if you'll recall, the pulse duration is fixed at 5 seconds. The very first second is built-in cooling to protect the epidermis. And then seconds 2, 3, 4, and 5 is when the heat's being delivered. Oftentimes we talk about it gently, gradually ramping up, kind of like climbing a mountain, or even approaching a roller coaster as you go up to the top and then you go over. And then remember, at the very end, right after the 5th second, there is a post-cool, and you have control over the length of time of that post-cool, and you have 1, 2, or 3 seconds for that. So protecting the epidermis on the beginning and at the end. Remember, the depth is fixed at 1.5 millimeters in the mid dermis, and we determined through studies and learning more about what takes place at this level, at this depth in the skin, that we don't need to go deeper. We are purposefully causing that skin trauma exactly where we need to be to affect the most collagen and elastin and hyaluronic acid remodeling right at that depth. So 1.5 is fixed, and it has a little tiny bit of radiation up and a little tiny bit of radiation down, but the core of that injury is at 1.5 millimeters. Now, last but not least, the high volumetric directional tissue remodeling. It is the highest amount of tissue coagulation in a single treatment. So we're purposefully causing that injury in the skin at 1.5 millimeters, but the amount of tissue that we're able to involve is very impactful to the patient. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. Thank you. So on the top, you'll see our Softwave. Notice that the deepest, darkest red is the core of our injury, and that's at 1.5 millimeters fixed depth. But notice how it's cylindrical and it's not symmetrical, and it does kind of almost look like it's traveling back a little bit. Thank you. And just note that these injuries are 1 millimeter by 5 millimeters. So a lot of tissue impacted with each pulse. Remember, all 7 of those transducers are firing at the same time. And so every time you deliver a pulse, you get a significant amount of tissue impacted. And you can notice that it's 3-dimensional versus some of the other devices that are on the market, fractional ablative lasers, RF microneedling, high intensity focus ultrasound, which, remember, it focuses that ultrasound beam down to a pinpoint. And then comparatively, you can notice that the tissue that we treat is significantly larger in terms of the percent coverage. The protocols that are on that quick reference guide refer to our fine lines and wrinkle treatments. That's a 1 treatment protocol. Our face and neck laxity, we promote it as 1 treatment, and then we always recommend that the provider determines based on the patient's needs. So treating to the degree of skin laxity, whether it's mild, moderate, or severe, always treat to the patient condition. Also, short-term improvement in the appearance of cellulite is a 2-treatment protocol. Acne scars, anywhere from 1 to 3 treatments, depending on the severity of that acne scarring. And then upper arm laxity, our most recent indication that we were granted, is a 2-treatment protocol. One other thing I'd love to mention is using your clinical resources. Our clinical team is fantastic. We have clinical training webinars. They are also, the one that we most recently had was from March 6th, and it is also uploaded on the eStore under the Resource Center in terms of clinical training. We will have refresher and new provider trainings available, so please make sure you're getting in touch with your practice development manager if you're in need, if you have a new provider, or if your staff is just in need of a little refresher. We have a Facebook user group. At the end of this presentation, I think we have a slide with a QR code that you can scan to join the Facebook user group. It's for SofWave, and lots of tips and tricks, lots of discussion that's generated by you, the providers. And then also use us, your SofWave personnel, whether it's your clinical trainer, your practice development manager, we're always here to help. And don't forget your area sales manager, because they're very well equipped to help as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carol Han, and I'm the Practice Development Manager for the U.S. Western region. Tonight, I'm going to present on the importance of patient retention. If anyone ever asks me about how to improve profits, the first thing I would advise without any hesitation is customer retention. In the highly competitive field of medical aesthetics industry, building and maintaining customer loyalty is crucial for long-term success. So what is a patient retention? Patient retention is a clinic's ability to keep patients engaged and returning for success through satisfaction and personalized care. Now that we understand patient retention, let's explore its importance. The patient retention is important because it ensures continued satisfaction, loyalty, and revenue, which drives business growth and help maintain a positive reputation in your community. Let's take a look at the statistics on patient retention. Acquiring a new patient can cost 5 times more than retaining an existing customer. Increasing patient retention by 5% can increase profits from 25 to 95%. The success rate of selling to a patient you already have is 60 to 70% compared to 5 to 20% for a new patient. Repeat patients spend about 70% more than a new patient. Therefore, loyal patients are worth 10 times more. According to AmSpa study in 2022, an average patient spends about $536 per visit, and an average of 65% of patients were repeat patients. Developing a robust patient retention strategy is vital for the long-term success and profitability of your clinic. With an increasing demands for aesthetic treatments and wellness services, medical aesthetic clinics need to implement effective strategies not only to attract but also to nurture existing relationships for high patient retention. There are 4 pillars on how you can improve patient retention. First, know your patients, not just by their names, but try to memorize at least one fact about each of your patients. Engage staff. Well-informed staff provide better service, leading to improved patient experiences and loyalty. And always, always, always provide a personalized treatment plan. Loyalty program. Create a simple membership program where members will enjoy exclusive benefits and discounts that regular patients do not get. This really promotes a sense of value and appreciation. Your patient will have a positive perception of your clinic, which contributes to increase the client satisfaction. So for example, if you create a simple $99 per month membership plan, and if you're able to recruit 200 members, you will generate extra $250,000 of revenue growth of passive income. Regular communication. Keeping regular communication with patient is important for your business success because it can keep your patients happy and satisfied. Happy customers can become advocates for your clinic and provide feedbacks that can help you improve. They also feel valued, appreciated, and confident that you have their best interest in mind. Always remember that there are 75 potential patients standing behind each happy customers. Send monthly, so you can always send monthly or quarterly newsletters, and also keep regular communication with your patients on social media. And for personalized follow-up, for example, send a happy birthday to your Nu Skin message to SofWave patients to remind them of their annual maintenance treatment. Continuous education and training of your staff members are very important if you want to retain your patients. Retaining patients is a team effort. So have a regular staff meeting with your team to discuss and get suggestions from them on the best way to retain patients. Train your staff on how to serve and care for patients. Also, reach out to your local PDMs. We are able to train your team on customer service and help you with the strategy plan for improving patient retention. In conclusion, focusing on keeping customers happy, using good retention plans, and always learning can help us succeed in the ever-changing field of medical aesthetics.
Thanks everyone for being here tonight. I'm here to talk to you about consultation best practices. And this is probably one of the most powerful things in the practice because the success of SofWave is heavily relies on the front desk staff and consultation and the consultants who interact with the patients. So really think about that the journey of the patient starts with at the front desk. Being the patient that comes into a practice, probably not an aesthetic patient coming into unknown territory, and having somebody who's not very friendly could really impact your practice. So having somebody at the front desk who's very warm, welcoming, and knowledgeable is key to success. The other point that I like to touch on is that the best offices have a team that possess the knowledge and skills to effectively position SofWave. So a lot of times the patient comes in, they don't know what they're booking, or, they come in with wanting to do something aesthetic, but they don't know. So starting the consultation or an icebreaker with a little introduction from your front desk is, again, it's key to the success of SofWave. And again, this person at the front desk should be able to speak confidently of SofWave, its capabilities and benefits. This person should also be able to differentiate SofWave from all the other technologies. One thing that I see a lot of practices where they lack is that sometimes they have so many technologies. I mean, I've been in practices where they easily have 15 lasers, 20 different devices, and the front desk is so confused, they don't know how to talk about it. So really utilizing your practice development managers to come in, do a front desk training, maybe a lunch and learn with your team, and get them familiar speaking about this technology that is so popular now, and the ROI is so high. So definitely recommend that. On consultation best practices, again, where we want to make sure that we create a consultation schedule that's flexible. Another point where I see practices failing is sometimes somebody comes in, this is a very emotional buy. Any aesthetic treatment, it's a very emotional buy for a patient. I come in, I'm excited, I want a consultation, but if they book me in 2 weeks, I'm most likely going to be talked out of it by my husband or my sister, or God only knows. And that happens to patients. So really making sure that you have somebody available right away when possible to do a consultation is key. Asking the right questions. Are they preparing for a special occasion? Are they getting married in 2 weeks? Are there any contraindications that maybe would prevent the patient from having this treatment? Or are there any health concerns? So that could really limit any wasted time, and not to be dismissive, but really making sure that you have the right patient for the consultation. Pre-qualifying the patient before scheduling an in-person consultation or the treatment. Again, are they a candidate? What is their timing? Are they having a wedding in the next 2 weeks? Are they interested in financing? So really, those are the questions to pre-qualify the patient and to just guide them in the right way. And then understanding the patient needs. I feel like sometimes when we're in the medical field, we don't speak a very simple language, and we can easily confuse patients. So really using simple language, empathizing with the patient to make sure that they know what they're doing, and they're in a comfortable place with us as providers or as a practice. So again, some of the best practices, greeting and introduction. Again, if somebody comes into the practice, as the practitioner, really credential yourself, because if somebody's going to trust their face to you, whether it's with Sofwave or an injectable or anything else, I want to know who's treating me. The patient wants to know, how many years of experience. So in those initial few minutes, credentialing yourself, it's very important. Educating the patient. So really understanding, provide a clear explanation of what Sofwave is, how it works, what the benefits are, and having your own before and after book it's again crucial. Our flip book is amazing and it's great, and it showcases a lot of our practices around the country, but having your own before and afters are really key in educating the patient. Setting realistic expectation. It goes without saying. I think one of the things that coming to this company has really shocked me is walking into practices. There's really no unhappy patients. There might be patients that were undertreated, but there aren't really a lot of patients that are not happy with the treatment. So part of that is, one, setting the realistic expectation that they are a candidate, and two, that they know exactly, what they're expecting. So really important to set that very clear from the beginning. Assessment and evaluation. So obviously conducting a very thorough assessment of the patient's medical history, their current health status, any relevant factors that might impact the suitability or effectiveness of Sofwave. And then a customized treatment plan. I think it's so important and easily overlooked. We now have body treatments. I mean, somebody comes in to get their face treated. Ideally, I would advise on a customized treatment plan, have them come back for their after photos, and then get started on their arms or their cellulite or any of the other areas that we can treat. So one, it's going to keep you busy. And two, it's really going to build that trust with the patient. So I treated my face. I'm absolutely happy. Now I'm going to come back in 2 months, do my after photos, and get started on my arms. So really having a plan like that makes the patient also feel very comfortable.
My name's Amy Regan. I'm out of Dallas, Texas. I'm the Central U.S. Practice Development Manager. So along with the new launch of our practice development team this year, there's been some amazing tools such as the Practice Development Support Guide. It's a brand new, fresh off the press grid and really tool that our practice development team utilizes to see where we can help grow your practice with Sofwave and come up with a plan that's custom fit to you. There is a whole business evaluation path that we use within it that has different routes contained in it to run really a complete evaluation on where you're at with Sofwave, what else we might need, what else you might need, and coming up with a plan for your practice. And also just basic things like, does your website have a backlink to SoftWave to increase your visibility online? Expanding on your offerings with SoftWave, like Erica mentioned, with the 8 now FDA clearances that we have. Sharing the success that we're seeing in the field with practices, increasing their bottom line, who are using this treatment head to toe, and also successes where we're seeing, such as with practices that are offering like GLP-1 and SoftWave along with Pure Impact. Digital marketing, such as discovery on how practices do their digital marketing, but also who's doing that inside the practice and who's leading that, to really connect with them and find areas of growth for you. And also just examples like making sure you're tagging at SoftWave Med within your social media and things like that. And then examples of recently, one example is I had a customer who had their social media locked and hacked. And so we were really trying to do some discovery on how we could, until they could get it fixed, how we could also increase their visibility in other ways, such as search engine optimization, and using other means to really help drive traffic in. So just one example of a recent one. And also we also did a search to see like what keywords they were, like when we did keyword searches locally with their business name, where they ranked and things like that, to see if we could increase that. And, just with best practices and recommendations, just getting a series of before and afters and really helping you with the timing on those and when to do those, and what is the primary customer base that your demographic is, and determining what the best plan is for SoftWave to fit your customer base. Event planning. So, just looking at like, planning events, 6 weeks out with your PDM, and beginning to advertise no later than 4 weeks out to really drive awareness around having a successful event and coming up with those ideas side by side with you in partnership. Coming up with a plan on promotions around the treatments you offer, ideas on not just retaining customers, but new referrals, planning out when to buy pulses around promotions. For example, like sometimes having promotions on pulses where there's an option to choose like an AIG. There's time, we have promotions throughout the year with pulses, maybe some coming up where they'll have an AIG or the option to get a discount, and seeing if an AIG, which is a virtual webinar event, would be something that fits your practice, to really help drive awareness in. That's a really powerful tool if it's something that we think is going to fit your practice. And your practice development manager can go in a little bit more depth on what that is, and really get you ahead of when we have these promotions, and if that's something that you should choose. And also getting in deeper and wider within the practice on all staff knowing and being able to speak to the treatment and promote it. Just examples where sometimes we're walking in and maybe only one provider is doing the treatment, and 6 others would maybe need like a refresher training, or they just need to know a little bit more about the treatment. And also front desk trainings, as well as staff sales trainings overall, to really expand on those body areas like Erica was mentioning, the team, and promoting SoftWave around the other treatments that you do most, and also leveraging your retailer both. And just really that patient journey. So creating a video or testimonial of one of your patients' journeys with doing SoftWave that can be shared with on your website or YouTube, or your base of customers or potential ones, and showing how those treatment results build up, over time, and also how it is a treatment that can be done where you can go on vacation or an event the next day with no one knowing, and also that being non-invasive, and showing those stages with photos. Correct use of branding, just making sure you have a flip book like the team was mentioning outside, with before and afters, and that we can show you through mysoftwave.com, where you can order those. They're a powerful tool to have up front. And mysoftwave.com is where you go to order those and other content. And also just banners in the lobbies or hallways and treatment rooms to drive awareness and curiosity for your customers, and making sure we're looking out for those things and seeing if there's anything else you need. And also paid marketing. So just like, what are you guys doing for paid marketing? Is it Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram? And how is this going for you? Or how can we improve or give you some ideas around adding those things? And also, how often is SoftWave being mentioned in those things? And just combination treatments being also a very powerful tool. So making SoftWave a treatment that supports the other treatments that you do within your practice and your most popular treatments, such as maybe offering a first-time discount to incentivize customers around that package, or around retail promotions. This can be done through special events, or just special offer that you want to give to launch SoftWave. One example that I was giving just from somebody recently was they had a bunch of skin pen cartridges and they wanted to get rid of them just because they had a little bit of an extra that they wanted to go through the summer with. So we were coming up with a promotion to see like how could they discount their skin pen to incentivize people to come in to buy a SoftWave. So just another example. And then patient acquisition. So really just discussing around, lead management. Is there a time frame like when those leads are being followed up with in your practice? Do you have somebody dedicated to handling those leads? Is there a record of where leads are coming from to see what method they most are coming from and what success you're having with those? And really just truly, do you have a dedicated person to follow up with the leads? And also coming up around with ideas to incentivize them to turn those leads into booked appointments. And also, what advertising budget do you have? Is there an area where maybe you have a little bit of extra budget there to go in another place, or an area where maybe you're not using as much budget where you could put that into advertising? So really running a full audit and evaluation on that to help support you. And then just reviewing quarterly and yearly what events you might have coming up to see where we can support those and be present, and also helping you come up with promotions for those. And then launching SoftWave within a practice. One of I think the two things in the beginning is how do I get all my marketing materials? How do I order a before and after book? So mysoftwave.com is where it's the same email and the same login, a password as your e-store. And then if you need any help, you can always reach out to us. But that's where you can reorder all of your videos, social media assets, flip books, and also like support materials, display and all in office. And then resources on eStore, submitting your loyalty points there, which we're going to go into in a minute, clinical assets and videos, and all of that residing in there.
Hi, everyone. I am Mariana Nardone, and I am covering the Northeast. And tonight, what I would like to go over is packaging and event planning. So it's very key for practices to combine other services that you offer. So putting a pricing discounts with 2 treatments and adding a service that might be complementary, such as incentivizing your patients to buy the package by offering 10 free units of Botox, a hydrofacial, maybe red light therapy, to a package of 2 SoftWave treatments. Skincare starter kits are a great way of customizing a program for each patient to follow. Not everyone is on a skincare routine. So depending on if you carry your own line or you're promoting something in your practice, it's sometimes a nice way to put together a package of skincare and price that in to your package. Definitely appointment scheduled for a 3-month follow-up visit for after photos upon the package being purchased, along with the second treatment appointment also scheduled. Sitting down with your practice together and going over what financing you have considered using, if any, in your practice. There are things like Care Credit, Affirm, which is now available to MediSpas, and Cherry. These are all great options to offer with little or no cost to your practice. SoftWave treatments are customized to fit every patient's individual needs. So being flexible with how you package treatments is kind of the key. Sitting with one person and then giving them one package, you might have a completely different awareness for another patient. And knowing that and having that flexibility, kind of being very in tune to what their needs are, asking the right questions. And this going back to what Erica was going over in the consultation process. I also think it's very key to have a private room where you're discussing package pricing and implementing a personal program for your patients or your clients as they feel that very much personalized VIP treatment. They're more apt to realize that this is the place that they want to do the treatment and that you're welcoming a program for them. On to event planning. So having an event is a great way to offer, of course, software services and bring awareness to new patients and existing patients. There are many tips and vital things for planning a successful event. One is making an invitation very appealing and adding special discount pricing only available at the event in order to draw people to the event. Definitely allowing yourself 4 to 6 weeks of planning by starting to choose a date and a time. Prepare a special email to send out as an invitation. Giveaways, what will you be giving away? What are you raffling? Are you doing valued skincare packages along with it? What treatments will you be purchasing at the event? How are you setting that up? Which I don't have in here, but I will say that always taking a non-refundable deposit is going to lock the person in to any kind of an event. What kind of guest speakers are going to be there? Are you going to be doing demos? Will you be showing any treatments? Bring a friend, receive a free gift. Could be a sunscreen or a gift card. Gift cards for $50 for all attendees. They get back their $20 fee. I like using something called Eventbrite. I've had much success in many practices in the past. I did put the link up there for you. Eventbrite is a great tool at very little cost, which helps you create an invitation and capture the person's credit card information, even if you're charging $20. It's a known business fact that psychologically, if someone pays $20 to reserve their spot or their seat and bring a friend, that they're going to attend the event. Follow-up emails for those that RSVP. You have to do this on a weekly basis, and also text reminders so that people are aware that they're in the loop, because of course everyone's very busy, and although they might have signed up for something 4 weeks or 6 weeks earlier, we want to make sure that they are still reminded that the event is happening on such date. Also, a great idea is to extend the event promo to those that could not attend by taking a non-refundable deposit to secure their event pricing. And maybe you extend this a week after the promo for people that might be asking, well, I can't make it this evening. However, can you give me a little headway of what's happening? It's very nice to accommodate people that can't come to the event. Additionally, many practices have great success in doing regular email promotions. We saw this recently with Mother's Day and flash sales without having an actual in-house event. So please be mindful that you can do an email promo for, let's say, upcoming Father's Day or the month of June. We have Pride coming up. Don't limit your practice to only doing in-house events that take 6 weeks of planning. Flash sales are an excellent way to do special pricing lasting just a couple of days, where you send it out in your email blast. You can also post on social media. And this is a great way of just capturing, new clients or capturing existing clients for regular promos that you're offering. Email blasting is fabulous for this. And one thing that's very, I think, goes unnoticed is that we forget that practices use your database. Your best referral system are the customers you already have. So a lot of software programs have the advantages where you can separate your cosmetic patients from, let's say, even medical patients. You can look and separate when they've come in, what they have spent, and you can actually customize your emails based on that. So let's say you want to do a promo that's a flash sale, and it's just about combining SoftWave with giving them 10 free units of Botox. So you're not going to target your medical patients for that. You're going to go after your Botox and maybe your filler patients for that. So that's a very clear indication of, working through your own database.
I'm back for an encore performance, everyone, to discuss the PulsePal loyalty program. This is a reciprocal marketing program. That's how I describe it to the providers and the practices that I've visited. And the reintroduction of it has been very invigorating to some practices. So in a sense, we help to build brand awareness. You drive your customers to your practice, and then you also earn free pulses, and you can choose how to use them. So we benefit from the assets that you provide, and then you benefit from building brand awareness and and then all of the perks that come with this program. So I'll describe a little bit, and you can always dive into detail on the eStore. Right under the Resource Center and where you buy pulses is where you find the PulsePal loyalty program. So just as a quick example, if you look at the very bottom of this chart that I created, one social media post a week where you tag Softwave, well, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever you post your social media, one post a week, every week in the year will earn you 5,200 pulses and 5,200 points. The pulses obviously are something that you can use for staff treatments. You can use them to raffle at an event. You can also use them for revenue. And so if you were treating patients, if you grab your calculator right now, you can add it up and you can do the math. But let's just say you were doing full face and neck and you're treating a mild laxity patient, for instance, with 300 pulses in a treatment, and you would probably recoup about $52,000 with just those points. And that's just one social media post a week for a year. So that's just an example. Those points also add up, and we have tiered levels, bronze through diamond, which offer you additional marketing rewards. So you can track your progress, you can find ways to receive new rewards, and the interactive interface on the eStore will help guide you through this process. You submit your assets there, and then you're able to track your progress as well. Thank you. So this is a chart a little bit more up close and personal. Bronze, 5,000. If you do one social media post a week, I don't know if you can tell that I'm hammering that home with you guys, but one social media post a week will allow you to earn 5,200 pulses, 5,200 points, which will then allow you to achieve the bronze level, and you get a social feature from us. So all of these are kind of like when we were younger and we sold Girl Scout cookies, or we raised money with Jump Rope for Heart, and all of the awards that we get continue to compound and they accumulate when you achieve different tier levels within this program. So social features, awareness campaigns, extra training, open houses, lead generation, these are all adding value to your practice just from sharing your assets with us and with your customers and your potential customers. Thank you. Real quick, social media feature. We'll create and share a feature featuring your practice with all of our followers. We're going to go through these really quick so we have time for questions. Awareness campaign, we geo-target. It's a marketing strategy, and we focus on potential patients around you in your region, driving foot traffic to you. Extra training, your Softwave clinical educator can offer an additional half-day training session, and we always offer certificates of completion, especially if you're asking for them. Open houses, it's a 2-hour party within your clinic, welcoming your clinic patients to that event. Mariana did a great job discussing what events look like. These are some examples of what we will provide to you, and the value is at $3,500. Lead generation with a value of $5,000 with all of these specifics, up to 100 leads, whether that takes 60 to 90 days, but digital assets and also other advertising assets. And again, all of these can be found on the eStore as well. TV features, just recognizing that TV is a very powerful tool. A premium profile. So when you all join Softwave and you become part of our family, you have a provider profile. It's not easy to say on our website. So softwave.com, and then prospective patients go to find a provider, and that's how some of them find you. When you have earned a greater tier level, you get to have a premium profile, which describes even more about your practice to your prospective patients. And that, again, is within that physician finder. And I believe last but not least, a micro influencer pop-up event. So two to four influencers with giveaways, videos, testimonials, other posts, engaging your audience and making sure that that everyone is fully aware of what you're offering. You're reaching your relevant audience. There's hyperlinks and then increased SEO as well.
My name is Kim Bello. I'm the Vice President of Customer Relations. We do have a National Got Lift Day coming up, which is on June 5th. And we will be sending out some information shortly on how you can participate in this Got Lift Day. So we'll be doing engaging social media posts, banner ads, email template, before and after templates. So you'll be able to really share what you have that day with everyone you know. I did want to share a little bit of what we do for B2C social media growth and press coverage. We have been very successful in getting our device, Softwave and Pure Impact now, on TV, in the news, on Vogue, InStyle, Bazaar, and we continue to work with different celebrities and influencers, and we do a lot of media highlights on local networks. And last but not least, we have our newest FDA clearance, meaning we are hitting 8 FDA clearances now, and that is the Pure Impact. And it is a module that connects to the Softwave device, and it's an EMS device, and it can treat over 16 muscle groups at the same time. It's a very unique device component to the Softwave. So if you have questions regarding this, your practice development managers and your territory managers can help you with those questions. And then this is our Softwave Facebook Insiders group. We have over close to 500 followers now in the Facebook group. And this is where you can scan the QR code if you're not already a group member to join the group tonight. Thank you so much. And Carolyn will wrap this up. We'll do some Q&A if anyone has any Q&A questions.
One is, how do they reach their PDMs?
They can actually email me at kim@softwave.com and I'll get them connected to their right practice development manager.
Where can we find the place to enter for loyalty pulses?
So when you're on the eStore, you'll see up on the top left of your eStore screen where it says buy. So you're buying pulses, because remember, the eStore is your portal, your online portal to all things Softwave. So it'll say buy right underneath where you would purchase pulses. It also gives you an opportunity to go into the resource center, which is all things marketing and social media posts that you can share. But below that, on that same column on the left, is the new PulsePal loyalty program. So if you click on that and scroll down, it tells you all the different assets that you can share with Softwave. There is a short approval time that you'll have to wait, but you submit those by linking. For instance, if you've gone on Instagram and you've done a social media post, go up to the address bar and copy and paste that link into the section on the eStore for your loyalty program submission. And then you'll just hit finish and it'll be submitted to our team. And then eventually, probably within a very short while, I think it's a couple days max, you'll see a coupon for the point value or the pulse value within your eStore. And those are pulses for you and your use.
Okay. And social media, when they do a social media post, I guess it's the same process to let us know that, yes, we've posted once a week or however many times.
There is, social media has a once a week interval limit. Before and after photos are also assets that you can submit. Those are unlimited and, obviously subject to approval. You need to make sure that you're meeting guidelines, and those guidelines are listed within the PulsePal loyalty program on the eStore. But for social media, you need to make sure that you're tagging SoftWave, whether you say, hashtag #GotLift or hashtag SoftWave or hashtag SoftWaveMed. Those will all count toward that. And again, just copy and paste the link and submit that within the program, and it'll automatically be uploaded to our team.
Sometimes they'll be in pending submissions, these coupons that Jen was referencing. And a lot of times I'll walk in and sometimes people not see where those are. And there's an area that says pending submissions and then approved submissions. So once your pulses are approved, they'll go into approved submissions. And then there's a little blue button on the right, and you just click apply, and that'll go right into your balance of pulses.
You talked a lot about events and practices doing some kind of event for their customer. What do you think is the best way for them to get awareness just about SoftWave and bring patients in? What kind of event would you suggest?
I think the first and foremost is just to start off with an email promo where you're offering a special flash sale. Maybe it's just a 2-day sale introducing SoftWave, and then see how that runs. And of course, as your PDM, I'm here to assist you with the whole process. So setting up an invitation, also just sending out a very good email blast with the key points delineated in it and seeing the response you get. And then from there, sometimes I've done even a soft launch again with practices that have already launched, but then they didn't have much success. Maybe it was the time of the year that they were doing it, but definitely we can always relaunch. So that's key for practices that are listening this evening and for going forward, for them to know that even though they might have already done a launch back whenever it was they initially got their SoftWave, we have so many new modalities with SoftWave that we can always relaunch. And I'm happy to help any way I can with that.
And so many new FDA clearances that they might have had earlier.
Correct.
Let's say a videographer comes in to the practice, films. Would this be an appropriate video to put maybe on their website, or they could also use it in marketing?
Absolutely. And they could stream it into their office also, where it's going on a TV, where it has a loop that's constantly being watched. Absolutely. There's so many different ways to market without marketing.
This was so beneficial. You guys, thank you for being here with us, and enjoy the rest of your evening.